So with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series not too far away, I thought it would be cool to take a deep dive into the character of Obi-Wan by looking into some of the canon comics that he features in. So here is Star Wars Obi-Wan and Anakin 2016 issue number 1. Let's go. The comic opens with Obi-Wan and Anakin crash landing on Carnelian 4, and Anakin mentions how not even Plo Koon would have been able to land properly, telling us that there's nothing Obi-Wan could do, but also again showing us Anakin's deep interest in flying. We saw it in The Phantom Menace, of course, and that same interest is what led him to become arguably the best pilot in the Jedi Order. He's definitely in the top 3 with Plo, Sazy-Tin and Anakin. However you rank those, that is up to you, but feel free to let me know. We know that it is near abandoned, or at least not what it used to be due to a war that occurred, and as Obi-Wan tells Anakin this, we see Anakin's doubt in the Jedi Order as a whole and the Republic, asking why they couldn't help out, why they couldn't step in this war and stop it from occurring. And of course the answer is the same reason why the Republic didn't help any of the slaves on Tatooine like Anakin and his mother. Because the Republic didn't have control of Tatooine, they didn't have control of Carnelian 4. This leads to Anakin saying that he meant what he said when he said at another time to Obi-Wan that he wanted to leave the Jedi Order. And that is very interesting to learn that just a 12-year-old Anakin already wanted out, and I'm curious to learn as to what made him stay, because he had plenty of reasons to leave throughout his life. We then get a flashback to Coruscant, specifically the Jedi Temple, with Anakin doing some lightsaber training where Obi-Wan, his master of course, Mace Windu and Palpatine observe this training. And we all know why Palpatine has taken an interest in Anakin. Palpatine says how he sees that Anakin has taken an interest in his lightsaber, and Mace Windu replies that this is an understatement, which is maybe a strong interest that Anakin has now, which dies down later down the line, potentially due to Anakin's trouble deciding whether he actually wants to be a Jedi, because in Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan kind of implies that Anakin doesn't train with his lightsaber enough anymore.
You spent as much time practicing your saber techniques as you which you would rival Master Yoda as a swordsman. I thought I already did.
However, that's likely to be down to Anakin thinking he literally has nothing more to learn, because he thinks he is already as good a duelist as Master Yoda. We of course know that's not true, but still, Anakin thinks it. We then see that the training droid that Anakin is sparring or fighting looks very familiar, and that is because Anakin programmed this droid to look as identical as possible to Darth Maul and to fight as identical as possible as Darth Maul. Anakin wanted to know how he compares to some of the very best Jedi in the Order, and how he would cope against like the biggest threat he could possibly face in his life, being a Sith Lord. And the fact that he's doing this so early, some may say that it just shows his arrogance, but I'd also make the argument that it shows his skill, his potential and his talent. When Mace and Kenobi realise that this is the case, it definitely shocks them, but Palpatine is more impressed than he is taken back by the fact that Anakin has managed to do this. The sheer skill that it would take to reprogram this droid to be so similar to Darth Maul, just based on some detailed questions he asked to Obi-Wan about his experience against Maul, is incredible. But that's still nothing compared to the fact that the 12-year-old Anakin Skywalker defeated this droid by flipping over it and slicing it in half, very similar to how Obi-Wan defeated the actual Maul. And bear in mind, Obi-Wan was over double Anakin's age when he did that. Now what would be very interesting is if Anakin ever got a chance to actually fight the real Darth Maul, and that is something I think could happen in the Kenobi series, which I made a video on very recently. So I'll put that on the screen at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Now after Anakin does this, two Padawans actually mock Anakin's past as a slave, which leads to Anakin embarrassing the both of them by force pulling their lightsabers out, hovering them above their heads and igniting them, which of course leads to Obi-Wan not being very happy and stopping Anakin immediately. Anakin then apologizes, and this just again shows us that Anakin is very vulnerable to his emotions. Now the next thing that happens is pretty weird in my opinion, because Palpatine asks Mace Windu for Anakin to be sent to him, as he feels a special connection since the events of The Phantom Menace. Now of course we know that Palpatine wants this to occur so he can further manipulate Anakin, and it's cool to see how early Palpatine started, or wanted to start, manipulating Anakin. But I'm surprised Palpatine did this so blatantly. Like, it's a pretty weird, uncommon and suspicious request for the Chancellor to have a Padawan sent to them, but in fairness, Palpatine is no idiot, so he probably knew that this would just be seen as the Chancellor of the Republic wanting to learn a bit more about one of the aspects of the Republic, being a Jedi, so the member of that aspect of the Jedi Order that he wants to learn from is the one that he has a special connection to. Now going back in real time, we see a ship crashing down towards Anakin and Obi-Wan. They help stop it with the Force, allowing two people to escape. They aim their blasters at Anakin and Obi-Wan, which is where they say that we're Jedi, we're only here because there was a distress call from this place for Jedi to arrive, and then the girl asks, what is a Jedi? So yes, a very interesting comic to be sure. Anakin already wants to leave the Jedi Order. Anakin defeated Darth Maul at 12 years old. Palpatine's already starting to manipulate Anakin, and Anakin and Obi-Wan are in a bit of trouble. Now I said I wanted to take a dive into Obi-Wan's character, so what does this comic really do for it? Well, I think it really interestingly shows how he was as a master to Anakin, you know, because when Anakin brings up the fact that he did mean what he meant when he said he wanted to leave the Jedi Order, Obi-Wan just kind of brushed it aside, handed Anakin his lightsaber for what was about to happen. Now there's a big debate of whether Obi-Wan was a good master to Anakin or not, and I think this comic series is going to explore that pretty deeply based on issue number 1, so stick around by subscribing for the later issues. Now with that being said, as promised, here is the theory video of how Anakin or Vader could fight Maul in the Kenobi series. I really do believe this one. Thank you for watching, please do leave a like if you did enjoy, and I'll see you over in this video. Goodbye.